Hello and good evening. This is Doc Severson for the ReadySetCrypto Premium Newsletter Market Update for Tuesday, April 16th. I'll start out tonight with Bitcoin, and actually this is doing really well. We've had the initial flagpole and the big breakout that we had from the massive pattern down here, the big basing that we had over the winter time. And this proves yet again that never, ever, ever chase after a breakout. If you don't get the initial breakout from it, never pile on with the rest of the retail traders that are up here. And right now, just twisting in the wind, trying to figure out what to do. Should they sell out of it? And many already have. And this is why we see the patterns like this setting up. Now, this is a type of consolidation pattern. This is actually good. Remember, when I talked about this initial breakout, I said, if this turns into a tight little consolidation pattern, that's good. That's what I want to see. What I did not want to see was some big, sloppy like this, where it turns into a throwover, and that's not good. But if it does hold up in this area, it's almost like a plane taking off and trying to get that initial, altitude, gain some altitude. There's no replacement for altitude if you're flying, and the same thing goes for any kind of a breakout. Getting hauled back down into the pattern would be the same thing as slamming back down into the runway here, and that wouldn't be good. It can still work if we come down to 4,200 and retest that from above. I'd rather we not do that, but that still can work, and sometimes that can be an evil, evil way to shake out any longs that jumped on board. Now, I've made mention of this before. I need to get these things posted into the Omnia members area. I did a bunch of flashcards long time ago. So here's like the front side, back side kind of things. So you look at this and you say, oh, that's a bull flag. And one of the things that you'll notice, and I got this right off of Thomas Bolkowski's work way back when, is that normally during a flag pattern or any other consolidation, typically what you'll see is big breakout volume, and then it will tail off until the next breakout from there. And that's almost precisely what we're seeing right now. If you look at the volume on here, is that we saw big breakout volume. That's good. That's always good when you see big breakout volume. And it's very normal to see volume tailing off on the subsequent consolidation. If you drill down to the 1 hour chart on Bitcoin, you can see the initial rally was up here. Here was the initial breakout rally from here. And then this was kind of the follow on as everybody got excited. And then this was the dumpening, I guess you'd call that, where all of a sudden people either took profits or got in way too late and then they had to sell out on this. But now what we're seeing is the price making a higher high on the 1 hour chart. Reversals begin from the inside out, and we'll see whether or not this leads anywhere. Unlikely to lead anywhere unless it gets really big volume. We also have that weekly chart, which is a bit exhausted right now, and it would be good to see another couple of weeks of consolidation in here before the next breakout attempt. Now, keep in mind, we've only got till the headroom on this trade is only up to about maybe 6,000 or so. So I may be looking for the next long from here, and we'll see a nice RSI hook if that does occur. That can be your trade signal if you want to use it that way. Or you can just simply pick a price level to signify the next entry. But keep your stops tight on this one. Make sure you get your fair share because there will more than likely be some heavy overhead supply into 6,000, 6,400 in that area. That, after all, is if we go into our volume profile, see if we can pull that out. Volume profile. If we pull this out, we can see that there's a high volume node right up here, which is the longer that we put this up, the bigger that volume profile begins, right? So the more data we have, the more significant that this one is. You can also see that over time, there's very little, once we get above 5,600, it should shoot straight up to about 6,000 to 6,200. So this is going to be no problem. Once we get above the recent highs there, this should go without much opposition up to 6,000. Now keep in mind that this is so far a lower high, and as I've talked about recently, lower highs can also be just as dangerous to the downside because everybody gets all bulled up. Everybody thinks it's breaking out. and then all of a sudden the trapdoor opens up and down we go again. Remember, we want to keep this thing above about 4,700 to maintain a bullish posture on Bitcoin versus the US dollar. Last couple of days, I've talked about Litecoin, and Litecoin looks like it's testing the lows here, testing the lows around 75, and so far those are holding up as support. And if too many shorts get too excited about this one, it could create a squeeze as it breaks this descending trend line in place here. So at this point on the trade sheet that we have, the trade idea sheet, I would like to go ahead and go long Litecoin, and this is going to be above 85 or so will be my trigger on this one. I have moderate confidence in this. If it breaks above 85, that it will go up to perhaps as high as 100, or at least that's where resistance sit for right now. So that would be our swing on that particular trade. By the way, the trade ideas sheet sits within a sticky post on the Discord Trading Ideas channel under the Omnia chat under Discord. Also seeing a potential breakout on Walton Chain. This one would be above this trend line and approximately the 4460 Satoshi level. This should create, if it goes down any further here, this will hook into the oversold area, which might produce a better signal. So we'll get an RSI hook on this one. If it does break above here, especially if it prints another candle, this will almost assuredly bring the RSI Laguerre down into the oversold territory, and we can get a nice hook signal from this if it breaks above, say, like 4450 Satoshis. Digitex made a nice recovery today. Shook out some of the weekend longs and made a nice recovery today. Full of energy, ready for the next breakout. Adam was on stage at the Paris crypto conference today. Apparently didn't say anything to blow up chances of Digitex like in Malta back in October. I have not heard the full interview yet, but again, as I've said many, many times, guys, as soon as I hear something from Digitex in terms of an AMA that we'll do on our channel live, then I will pass that along to you. Right now, I'm kind of sitting back waiting to hear something from them. I don't want to press them too hard because I don't want to be that straw that breaks the camel's back in terms of them not hitting their launch dates. That's it for today, folks. The market looks fairly healthy. It's consolidating at the top of a breakout, mostly in the big caps, not so much the altcoins. It's not the altcoins' turn yet. We'll see what happens next. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.